All right, let's just jump right into it. We all talk, right? But how often do our words actually do anything? In this explainer, we're going to break down how you can transform your communication from just making noise into creating real movement and earning respect.
And boom, that quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? This isn't about being some slick, charismatic salesperson. It's way more fundamental than that. It's about this simple truth. If people don't feel that confidence in your voice, it doesn't matter how great your idea is. It's just gonna fall flat.
So what this really creates is something we can call the influence gap. Think of it like this huge, massive canyon. On one side, you have people who talk a lot. On the other, you have people whose words actually land and mean something. It's not just about being heard, it's about being followed. Okay, so look at this. It's like two completely different universes, right? Over on the left, you've got the talker's loop. Man, that sounds exhausting. It's that cycle where you just talk before you think, which makes you add more words to try and fix it, and it just creates this mess of confusion, and ultimately, nothing happens. But then look at the right, the leader's approach. This is a totally different ballgame. It's all about precision. You think first, you speak less, but better. Every single word has a job to do. So the big question is, right, how do you get from one side of that gap to the other? How do you stop being the talker and start being the leader? Well, the answer is right here. It's this awesome framework called the 4 Pillars of Influence. Think of it like a 4-step process. First, you need clarity, knowing what you're going to say. Then, authority, how you say it. After that, precision, the actual words you choose. And all of it is designed to lead to one thing: action. This is going to be our guide for the next few minutes. All right, let's dig into the first pillar. This one's all about the foundation: clarity and calm authority. And what's interesting here is that this isn't even about the words yet. It's about where you're coming from, your whole internal state, before you even say a thing. Okay, first up, clarity. And the most important thing to get about this is that it's not some gift you're born with. It's a discipline. It's the hard work you do in your own head before you speak. It's like being a filter, You separate all the noise from the actual signal, the core idea. And just remember this: a long message doesn't make it a strong message. A clear one does. So how do you actually find that clarity? Well, this quote really nails it. So many of us are terrified of silence, right? We think if we pause, we'll look like we don't know what we're talking about. But it's actually the complete opposite. That little pause, that's your secret weapon. That's the moment you collect yourself, find your footing, and step up like a leader. And that pause, that centeredness, leads us right into the next piece: calm authority. It's funny, we often think the leader is the loudest person in the room, but that's not it at all. People follow the steadiest voice. Real authority isn't about yelling over everyone. It's about being that calm, grounded presence that just makes everyone else feel like, okay, things are under control. You're absorbing the stress in the room, not adding to it. And this all boils down to a really powerful idea right here on the screen. Let's just let it sink in for a second. Silence isn't weakness. It's pure strength. Think about it. The person who's comfortable with the silence, that's the person who's really in charge. Okay, so you've got your inner game sorted out with clarity and authority. Now what? Well, now it's time to actually build the message. This brings us to our next pillar: precision and strong structure. This is all about the nuts and bolts, the actual words you pick and how you put them together. This is so crucial. Your words are never neutral. They're either building you up or tearing you down. Just look at the contrast here. On the left, you've got all these wishy-washy words. Maybe, sort of, I guess. They just scream uncertainty. But on the right, totally different story. This is, we will, let's decide. These words are solid. They have weight. They tell everyone you know exactly what you're talking about, and you don't have to yell to get their attention.
And it's not just the words themselves, it's how you organize them. A strong message needs a skeleton, a structure. And it's actually pretty simple. 1. Start with your main point. Just get right to it. 2. Back it up with one good, clear example. 3. Pause. Super important. Let people digest it. And 4, and this is the part a lot of people miss, give them direction. Tell them what the next step is. You're not just talking, you're giving them a map.
Okay, this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important pillar, action. Because let's be real, you can have all the clarity, authority, and precision in the world, but if nothing happens after you speak, what was the point? This is what it's all about. This is the end game of influence. And this right here, this is a huge mindset shift. So ask yourself, when you speak, is your goal just to be understood? Are you just looking for people to nod and say, yeah, I get it? Or is your goal to make people move, to get them to actually do something? Because understanding is passive. True influence creates movement. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the difference. A communicator, they explain, they share info, they kind of hope you'll agree with them. But an influencer, they activate, they create momentum. They don't just hope for agreement, they seek action. It's a whole different level. You're not just a radio broadcasting information, you're a catalyst making things happen. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? If you finish talking and the world looks exactly the same as it did before you started, then your message was incomplete. It's like an unfinished sentence. The whole point of this stuff, the whole reason to be influential, is to guide people toward a result, to change something. So if you take away one thing from all this, let it be this quote. Your words shouldn't just make people understand, they should make people move. That's it. That's the secret. That is how you cross that influence gap and go from just talking to actually leading. So the question I'll leave you with is a simple one. What are your words going to move people to do?